Welcome back to the movement, everybody. It's always such a pleasure to have you come back on the show. Today, I have a very honored guest, actually, another fellow. He's my neighbor, a Syrian fellow here.
Yeah,
One of my neighbors, Majed. We're going to call you Maj, make it simple.
Maj. That's actually a name that I used to be called with back in elementary school.
Really?
Yeah, my gym teacher used to call me that, and we used to make fun of him for not saying the full name. It's a very short name.
Now we're going to start doing Maj. We're going to make it a trend, instead
Awesome.
of Majed the whole way. It's a pleasure to have you on, my brother. We want to know all about you today. We want to know your story. Starting off, where are you from?
I'm actually Syrian. I was born and raised in Syria, and then unfortunately the war happened. And that's
I want to talk all about that, by the way.
all about the
I
war.
want to talk about growing up in Syria. What was it like pre-war?
I was young. It was definitely very different than what it is here. A lot of the family members are close to you in the same neighborhood.
How was the family dynamic? Comparing it from contrast, let's give them some contrast.
Oh, it's like everyone is your parent. Like you go and it's like going to your neighbor that's not even related to you.
I love
it feels the same thing, right? It's very close, very tight. Even like the economy there is very close and very tight.
I heard economically Syria was actually solid way before the war.
Well, I was in a small village, so economically speaking, not everyone was doing really good.
Yeah, I guess more city-wise, it would be more different.
Exactly.
What was the name of the village?
Sorry?
What was the name of the village?
Daraya.
Daria.
Yeah, it's pretty much where the majority of the things happened.
Wow.
Yeah. Not where it started, but a lot of bad things happened there. And living there.
Let's start from the beginning.
So the beginning.
So growing up there, you said everybody was close.
Yeah.
Everyone was like a parent, you said.
Yeah, I mean, I lived there. There was lots of my cousins are obviously our families have lots of kids.
Love it.
10, 12 is normal there. So you grow up with like 15 different kids. You play soccer. Lots of fun, obviously.
Let's be honest, the best.
Yeah, if I would go back to that time, I would. Like all your uncles and you all like gather on Fridays, do barbecues. It's a different environment. It's a lot more family oriented.
Both mom and dad are Syrian?
Yes.
Same place, village?
No, my mom is from another. Well, she's from the Damascus, the center. My dad is from Daraya. Well, they were both grew up in the same village though. And both of my grandparents are in the same village.
It's almost like the same similar story with my parents. One's from this side, one's from this side, but we grew up here.
Yeah.
Grew up in the same village in the end. Okay.
Yeah, and then I was like 7 when everything started, I believe. So starting at 7, you go to school and then
you were young.
Yeah, I'm still young as now as well, but
that beard throws you off. I would have said you're like 32.
Oh,
how old are you?
That's average. Everyone says that as well. 28, 30, that's the average what everyone says. I'm 20.
You're 20 years old?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm the same age as Haroon. Actually, you had him here as well.
That's crazy. You aged terribly, my friend. I aged terrible. I saw all the grays at like 28, 27.
Oh, man. I think like I've seen a lot, but there's so much still to see. Like 20, going through what I've been through so far is definitely very different than what a lot of 20-year-old here go through.
Please, let's go back to 7 years old. Okay, 7 years old.
7. That's when pretty much I think everything started. I'm not really good with dates, but the first thing that happens is obviously lots of bombing near us and around us.
So give me the context. So as soon as everything started, what was that day like for you? What were you doing that day?
Don't recall correctly, but I remember some events where basically we would stop going to school, no longer safe, and even like days where we would after school, me and my brother, my friends, we would go out like on again like do I don't know the word in English, but muzahara. So we basically go and like protesting against the law, and we do that every day after school. We went to, and then the regime started actually going to arrest those kids. And so that's when we stopped going to school. My parents were like, it's no longer safe for you to even go there.
And this is Bashar's guys that were arresting you guys?
Arresting the kids, beating them up.
That's fucking crazy.
And like, remember, we're 7-year-old. Like we're very, very young at that age. And it's pretty much just we were kids as well. We were saying stupid shit, but
it's still kids. Where are you gonna go fucking arrest a child?
I think it's mostly like to like have a sign on the parents, like you're treating your kids this way, we're gonna beat them up. So treat them kind of like make them more behaved. But we stopped going to school. Then things went very, very fast. Like things escalated extremely quickly. the regime started burning down houses, killing civilians in our village. Like it's a small village. Like we all know everyone. They started killing everyone there, like going to houses, slaughtering all the men. And that's when
Why though? What was the? I never knew much of the story of the Syrian war on the politics side. Like why?
asking for freedom. Like it
But
was.
what did
It was
Bashar
very,
want? What was
very.
wrong?
It was very peaceful. When you ask for freedom, I think you're asking too much from such person.
That's disgusting.
And I have lots of relatives that died, and my mom as well. Not she didn't die, but she
Thank
was
God,
like
God forbid.
she got kidnapped. But I'll get to that part later. Basically, everything escalated super quickly. There was lots of homicides that happened within our village, like where like a few people come in from the regime side, kill like 20 people, 30 people, and leave, burn houses, and then leave. So obviously my relatives would be out the village and try to hide all the time. But a month in or so, we basically got out. It was like overnight. We got whatever we could and we moved to Damascus, the center. Me, my mom, and my siblings, and my grandparents from both sides. There it was safe. And then pretty much all my relatives that are men stayed in Daraya, the village. And that's the war that basically happened for like 10 plus years. I don't remember exact number, but they were fighting for a long time.
And this was like the hub, the center
One of the
of
hubs.
fighting.
So
one of the hubs of the center of the fighting.
it was like it was one of the villages. I think there's like 4 villages that was like they were fighting or trying to still fight against the other party. But Daria was definitely one of them. If you look up the pictures now, it's like all on the ground. And then
It's flattened, eh?
yeah, like everything is burnt, everything is destroyed. It's like Gaza now, but it's not just Daria. And I think like we've had a lot of casualties compared to anywhere else, just from that village. And it's a small village.
Yeah. So you guys went after that. You guys went to Damascus, right? Looking for
We
safety.
went to Damascus. Me and my parents. We were like 20 people in one house around this size. So you'd like sleep on the ground and stuff. It was fun. Like
20 people, the size of the studio.
it's roughly 20. Like
Wow.
I don't remember exactly the number, but we had my family, which is three siblings. My mom. We had my grandparents from this side, so 2 people. The other side, 2 people, and then 2 of our neighbors, and they were like 6 people. So do the math. I don't want to do the
Sure.
math quickly, but it was about this size, and we would sleep on the ground. We had money like to eat. We weren't like starving, and obviously we had rent. So relatively speaking, compared to anyone else that was in Syria back then, we were better. Until one person, and during this duration, a lot of our relatives died. Nothing close to me so far, but my uncle got arrested. My uncle from my dad's side,
For what reason?
just being for a part of the protest.
Mm.
So I mean, back then, if you get arrested for anything, if you're a man, you get arrested just so, even if you're close to a family that's against the regime or has participated in protest, you'd get arrested.
So where's your dad, by the way? Because you said your mom. You never said.
They're both here. They're both safe. So
No. At that point of the story,
Oh,
was
is
your
that-
dad
yeah.
also with you guys in that
no,
house?
he's in the village.
Okay.
So
Wow.
it's still like stuck there basically. And so my uncle gets arrested. He's not in the village. He was in because he got hurt. He got injured by a bullet. He was part of the protest, and he got shot in the chest. So he moved to Damascus, the center, where he was being treated. Obviously not in a hospital because he would get arrested. He was being treated by like close family.
That's crazy.
He went to a hotel in Damascus, like one of the biggest hotels, and then he just got arrested. It was his second time getting arrested. First time he escaped. Second time he didn't get to escape, and unfortunately, he passed away.
My rest in peace, Elliot Howe.
Very sad of how he did. At the time, I didn't know, or I was young still, but now like thinking back, it's very tragic. Like the people who got out that was close to him, it was because you get beat up a lot, so you kind of like go into a mental state where you just want to die, right? So he died, and then from there, a lot more people got arrested that are close to us, and one of the guys, because when you get arrested, they beat you up till you kind of turn someone in, right?
So they torture you until you.
Yeah, or give like information.
Okay.
So one of the guys, I don't blame him. Like, if I'm being tortured, I don't know what I would say, but he thought that our house wouldn't have any people, or they wouldn't take anyone from there. I think. I don't know. I haven't heard the full story. So he snitched on our house, which had my grandfather from my dad's side, my mother, my grandmother, and my siblings. So 12 a.m. We had like some sort of picnic at our house with my mom. We made some good food. I still remember the stuff she made.
Good food, of course. You'd remember the good food.
Yeah. And then she basically, the 12 a.m. they storm in like 20, 30 guys with all like AR-15s or whatever. And we're all sleeping on the ground. So they come in and they take, like, end of story, they take my grandfather and my mother. My mother was actually smart. She used the hijab strategy to hide her stuff in the couches.
Yeah.
So they didn't have much evidence against her.
Like she just hid it under the hijab. That's it.
No. She used the hijab strategy, saying, "I want to put my hijab on to get out of the room."
Oh, okay.
And then she hid the laptops and all the technology devices inside the couches.
Smart.
But yeah,
I had to ask because I don't think anybody would have figured that one out.
Yeah.
What the hijab strategy was. Okay, so
yeah, because I mean, they still had some manners, I guess. They let
I was gonna say as if they're gonna come and raid a place full of children and whatever, and be like, okay, we'll let you put on the hijab.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't public though. Like inside, they do lots of bullshit. From my mom, would have heard. But yeah, they take them out. And again, like the guy that
on what grounds?
on her,
Why did they take them though?
They take people out for nothing. Like
for nothing.
But for specifically speaking, there, they took both of my mom and my grandmother because my dad and my other uncle, is still in the village. But they tried to fabricate bullshit on you. Like my mother, I think what they got her on was she visited my dad a few times, so they just said you're illegally snuggling items or weapons into the village.
Just like that.
Yeah, realistically, she's done nothing. And
yeah.
when you're in that position, you can't really do anything or you get beat up. So that's my mom. My grandfather was, they were asking him where his son is, his uncle, like my uncle, not my father, because I don't know what they asked about my father, but my uncle. He actually escaped the army, and joined the other party. So he escaped the regime, and then joined the other party.
What's the name of the? Is there a name for the regime or just?
We just call him like Bashar Assad regime.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean they got different names, Shabiha, whatever, but like they're all.
What about the other faction, like the liberation faction?
It's just peaceful people. Like
Was
my dad wasn't part of anything. Like he got stuck in Daraya, right? Like we were just the civilians, I guess.
No.
There was like other parties like ISIS who was against them. There was Jaysh al-Har, which are just like an army that got some funding out of nowhere, out of no idea where, and then they started fighting them back. But when things get violent, things get really bad. I mean, even when it was peaceful, it was really bad. But when you escalate that, you know what you're getting yourself into.
That's crazy. So yeah, so they arrested your mother and all that.
Yeah, they arrested my mother and all that. My grandfather also passed away from beating.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, I mean, it was also sad, but he didn't last as much as my uncle lasted. So he's 60 years old or 65. You can't last that much in there. So he died 10 days after, and my mom witnessed it. So it was definitely very tragic, but not compared to my uncle because he went through a lot more. But my mom also got tortured a lot. So she has like back problems. She got electrocuted. And just like the environment is not very friendly there.
It's fucking disgusting.
Honestly. But 4 months after, she got out, thankfully.
Alhamdulillah.
From there, we moved to Raqqa, which is another like province or in Syria, where ISIS is. The reason why is because we want to go out of the country. You have to go to the surrounding, like the outside places, and then you go to either Turkey, Jordan, or whatever. We wanted to go to Turkey, so we went to Raqqa, where ISIS is, and that was a completed like. At the time, I was okay, but now thinking back, it's insane. Like I was in the center where the slaughtered heads are like hanged on the fence of the park.
That's fucking crazy.
It was like all dark. I couldn't really think much of it.
But you saw it.
I saw it, and I still remember it. Like it's a picture in my head. And then we stayed there for like 10 days. Then we left. So me and my mom and my siblings basically left from Raqqa walking and through a bus through the what's the word? Al-Hudud. What's Hudud in English?
Hudud?
Yeah.
The borders?
The borders. Through the borders of Turkey and Raqqa, or Halab, I think it was at the time. And obviously there's both parties on each side. So we started hearing shooting, and then we started running, left our luggage, and just started running to safety.
That's crazy, yeah.
But we made it.
Did you see actual ISIS guys?
Oh yeah, bro. I was stopped at like one time. I was walking because you're supposed to have like your niqab on. So I
Yeah.
was walking with my grandmother, and she didn't have one on. She for health issues, she can't breathe. So they stopped us. That's the first time I met them. Second time I was walking with my mother's grandfather, for shopping, and because of my haircut, your haircut would be like against their terms. You'd go to jail, whatever, for whatever reason.
What's my haircut supposed to be?
You're trying to look like someone who's not Muslim. Like my haircut was like Ronaldo's haircut. I was a big fan, so I had the same haircut before coming to Raqqa, and they're like, "This is a haircut of a kafir." So you either go bald, or next time I see you, you're gonna go to the prison.
That's crazy. So ISIS always made me sick, to be very honest. It was all bullshit to me, but
Yeah, I mean, I didn't make much of it. I was definitely very, very scared.
for sure, you're a
Like,
kid.
Now, like that, like out of everything I've been through, that was the moment I was super, super scared.
Yeah.
I was shaking. Like I even scrambled my head and just ran back home. But we didn't stay there for long. We just went to.
How old were you at that moment, by the way, when you met those ISIS bastards?
So let me think back. So I got into Canada 2 years after I was in grade 8, so 14, so 12 years old.
That's crazy.
Yeah. 12 years old. I met those guys. Yeah, it was very scary. I can still remember like the way he looked. And they all looked terrible.
I was at the park when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, I mean,
And then you're out there meeting ISIS guys and fucking running for your life.
I wasn't running for my life. I think it was just trying to be authoritative over me. Like, I don't think he would have done anything to a kid. They're Muslim at the end of the day, so they have some manners. They wouldn't. I wouldn't imagine them killing a kid over a haircut, but they definitely, they try to be like the angry guy at you. And it worked at me at the time. But we got to Turkey. That was good for us. A few days after, the same house we were in, where my grandmother, my aunts, it gets bombed. Like there's a bank here and there's the house here. So there's a bomb that happens in the middle, like from the Syrian regime. No one died, but both my aunts got injured, and it was crazy how life works. Like if we were there, we definitely would have been heavily injured because we used to stay at the balcony all the time because of the weather.
Why it's nice weather?
Sorry?
Nice weather, is that why?
No, it's very hot inside.
Oh, it's very
so
hot
you go
inside,
outside to be able to breathe.
Of course.
So we were always at the balcony. If we were at the balcony, we would have like been heavily injured.
God forbid.
Yeah, but we made it, and no one. That was like the last memory out of Syria. Now just my relatives that are in there, and they're mostly women. Women, like they're not in danger from the regime. They're just in bad financial positions. Like the economy is terrible. Same prices as here, but there's no jobs there.
I always wondered, I'm like, you know what, if this war lasted 10 years.
Oh, it has been.
And how does Bashar still around? How did they all, after all this destruction and war and everybody goes against Bashar and all these military factions, how is he still around?
There's backing from everywhere. There's backing from Russia. There's backing from the US. It's all politics. I mean, I don't really get into much of the politics, but I know there's backing from everywhere.
Is it like half the country hates him, half to love him, or is it just
no
like
one loves him.
everyone
If
hates
you
him?
love him, like you're either pretending or brain dead. But why would you love someone who destroyed the economy? Like, who loves Trudeau here? You know, it's like asking the same question.
Fucking Bashar. Okay,
It's
no,
not
I
the
don't
same.
like Trudeau, but I'm saying holy smokes.
It's the same. Like, it's not the same thing. There's two different things. But this guy is kind of fucking the economy up. This guy fucked up not just the economy, but killed civilians. So it's that scale. I mean, obviously some supporters here for sure, but and there's supporters there for sure. I wouldn't say half. I would say more like 90%, 10%, and
Just
the 10% are just like they're getting money.
I was about to say you got to be getting paid somewhere, bro.
Like there's something that has to make you love him. Like I wouldn't love anyone in my life that much like them for anything. Like even if they're like, obviously I love my parents, but anyone that's random, I don't have that sort of relationship with strangers. So it's kind of weird. Like he must have given him money or done something good for them.
It was very interesting because I saw when they had that Arab League summit,
no one loved him.
And all these world leaders go to talk about a ceasefire in Gaza, and I'm like, he's one of them that's there. I'm like, it's pretty hypocritical if you ask me. Why you're there to talk about a ceasefire, but you destroyed your country?
And
You know what I
while
mean?
that's happening, he was still destroying Idlib, which is another village.
That's
There's not much
crazy.
coverage in the media, but it was still happening there.
Crazy. I'm like, the hypocrisy on the finest level. This man is there to talk about save Palestinian ceasefire.
You know what's
Go
his
save your own
excuse?
people. Stop fucking killing them.
Do you know what's his excuse? It's all photoshopped.
That's all for the what?
It's all photoshopped.
Hmm.
He went on interviews saying it's all fake.
Sounds like fucking IDF news, eh?
No, even worse. IDF is doing a lot of bad things for sure, like killing children, all that. It's very bad. I agree with them. Like, it's terrible. Like, killing civilians is just like on another level. But scale wise, it's different. Like, you can't put them together. That has been gone on for longer, but right now, IDF, what's happening, scale wise, it's a lot bigger, I would say. And I have my own bias because I'm from there. But at the same time, it's
Well,
like,
you've actually seen it. You lived there. You grew up there.
yeah, and at the same time, like, it's not something you want to compare.
Do you feel like you still go through some kind of? Do you feel like you've developed post-traumatic stress from this?
Not me. My parents did though.
Yeah.
I don't think it affected me because I was young going through it. Looking back, I know it's fucked, but I just don't feel any sort of issues with me.
Well, I guess because your mom, she saw her father getting tortured to death.
Well, it's not his, it's my grandfather from my other dad from my dad's
Still-
side.
still
but my
family.
mom was tortured as well,
Yeah, exactly. She was tortured.
and my dad was tortured as well. Like my dad went through. So the other party kind of because there's corruption everywhere. Hamas, there's corruption. IDF, there's corruption everywhere, right? There's leeches. So they arrested him inside the village and they started beating him.
That's crazy.
And that was the second time he got arrested. So yeah, like it's corruption everywhere. They all went through crazy amount of time, like stuff.
So then, so you guys went to Turkey.
We went to Turkey.
How was your experience there?
Amazing. Like the first place we went to was amazing. It was Gaziantep. People were amazing. Food was delicious. Every meter you walk, there's a park with like a turf field. It's like going from nothing pretty much to heaven. So as kids,
That's actually a crazy contrast, yeah.
it was like insane. And we were only there for a month, but we lived in a nice studio. It was a 2-bedroom studio. In Turkey, we had like a personal driver. That was like a friend of my dad. He took us around, fed us well. We had back in Syria no food. Like we had good, like we were eating obviously, but when I say no food, nothing of quality. So we're eating the same thing, zero zatar for pretty
We
much.
all
the entire
love
time.
Zayt Zatar. Let's be very honest.
Yeah, but when you have no options, you get bored of it. And looking back, it's like not because we love it. We had no
So
options.
it's a necessity.
Yeah.
So at some point, did you guys starve?
No.
How long were you guys in the conflict for, by the way? Like you specifically in Syria. How long was it from when it started till you guys left?
I think 3-4 years. My
Oh,
dad
you
a
were
lot
there
longer.
for a while.
Not inside. So in the village, I think 2 years, and then outside of for another 2 years.
2 years in a war zone is a long time, Habib.
I know. When things started escalating crazy, we left though. We still hear.
Luckily,
news.
alhamdulillah, you guys were able to leave, yeah.
Yeah. I know lots of people from my relatives died, but the closest two were my grandfather and my uncle. And had like plenty more that died. And now pretty much all my family scattered around the world: Libya, Scotland, Egypt, Lebanon, Jordan.
Did you guys have access to water at the same time, or is it just Zayt Zata?
Oh no, like water,
Yeah.
bread, zayt za'atar, and
Was
like,
there times where you guys were completely cut off?
no, like because the people in Syria, like my parents, or my dad and my uncle, they were getting paid. No idea from where. I never like really asked, but they were
No,
getting,
cut off from resources like water or food or anything. Was there any moment
in
in
the
time?
village. There's no food.
Wherever you were.
In the village, no, there's no food. So you only had the resources that you had, and then sometimes they snuggled food. So that's the what they put on my mom: snuggling items, food, medical items, and weapons.
That's smuggling? To
I mean-
get food?
Yeah, because they cut the village was cut out of everything, electricity, water, everything, right? Because they in their idea they said there's terrorists.
I'm not
and stuff.
shocked at this point. It's just sickening, man. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but-
You're gonna say you're gonna be called a smuggler because you're smuggling in necessity of life, you know?
It's the same thing that's happening in Gaza right now. Like,
No, I
there's-
know.
so I wouldn't be surprised. It's very messed up what happens in the Middle East. But in Damascus, for us, we were never cut out of anything. Electricity, though, you never see that. Even like before the war, they were on a schedule. So it's off for 4 hours, on for 2 hours, off for 4 hours. And yeah, but we lived through it because we were a small village. So it was fun to actually view that electricity. You play with your uncles. You play like
love
cards.
how you just said that. It's more bonding because you don't have to rely on technology, TV, phones.
Yeah. I mean, at the time also, we had like one PC for like the entire house.
Counter-Strike.
My uncles were playing that.
I was gonna be like, you have to. You're from that region if you're playing Counter-Strike.
I didn't play it. I actually played it like last year and this
PUBG.
year. No, I didn't play the PUBG.
Come on.
No, I don't.
They're flopping.
I played one time, I think, and then I realized how bad it is compared to Fortnite.
Okay.
But yeah, from there,
Oh yeah,
Turkey.
I forgot you're 20 years old. Yeah, that's right. PUBG is an older game.
Yeah. I played CS:GO like last year. It was pretty fun, but at the same time, like I'm not really good at FPS, so I didn't have too much fun.
Come on.
Yeah,
Nostalgia.
you play CS:GO?
Fuck, of course you play. It wasn't amazing. Don't get me wrong.
Okay,
I was more of a Call of Duty kind of guy.
COD is pretty fun. I've heard.
I'll fuck you up in COD right now, no problem.
COD, I've heard there's a new version that came out, and I've seen like some people play it.
Which one? Modern Warfare 3?
I've no idea. I just heard new COD out.
There is a new COD out. It's, you know what? The only reason why I enjoy it, I think there's a lot of flaws in it. And just the reason why I enjoy it is because it's nostalgic. It's the old Modern Warfare maps. So when I started playing it, you're like, oh my God, Terminal, that's crazy. Afghan, that's crazy. I'm like, what the fuck? I feel like I'm like 10 years ago, you know? So it was incredible.
Yeah.
And I already knew the lay of the land. So
Fair
you can
enough,
only
yeah.
imagine I'm fucking slapping everybody. If I'm already a deadly player, I know the lay of the land. I don't even have to get used to the new map. I already know it.
What do you
It's
play
like
on?
muscle memory.
What do you
PC.
play? PC?
Bro, I have a monster PC.
So I must be one of those kids that are tryhards.
Bro, I don't need to try hard, man. I've been playing for too long, man. That's
Okay.
it. Let them try me right now, you know?
I see. Well, the Fortnite did the same thing. They launched like
I
the OG
sucked at
season.
Fortnite, but continue.
Yeah, they did the OG season, so that's like the nostalgic thing where a lot of people came back just because back in 2018 when everyone was playing and then everyone left in like 2023, they did the same thing. They brought back the old map and now everyone is playing it again.
That's the best.
Yeah, like it's the nostalgic feeling that gets you back. And I played it too with my friends. It was very, very fun. Remembering like when I used to be on my iPad back in Canada.
We're still talking about Fortnite or Call of Duty?
Fortnite.
Fucking, I couldn't do the building, man.
They have no.
I
building
started
mode
too
now.
late, and then I'm like, bro, this guy literally just built the fucking Taj Mahal, bro. You know what I mean? I'm still working on a shed. So
Yeah, I
this
used to
is
play
insane.
I used to play on mobile iPad, so building wasn't that terrible because no one
Okay.
builds. But yeah,
So let's go back to Turkey, by the way.
yeah, Turkey like we
So you got there, it was heaven on earth at this point. Food's good, playground every other place.
yeah we went from Turkey. Actually, my dad went to Lebanon, escaped, and then so we went. He actually walked to Lebanon.
Wow.
And at some points it was like I'm no longer doing it because you're walking a long distance. But he pushed through and he made it. David Goggins would be proud of him.
Yeah, I swear to God, I was just thinking David Goggins too.
But yeah, he made
Because
it.
that's like a fucking 1 week walk, no?
It was
Yeah.
a very long time walk. And actually, I remember I don't know if he wants me to share the story, but at one point, the Lebanese guys started like there's a village. I've no idea if it's Lebanese or whatever. They started shooting at them like and beating them up. My dad hid somewhere, so he made it. But there was like story on the news. I don't know the specifics, but I know he was getting shot at from like a village in Lebanon. No idea why, no idea how or how he survived. But he also went through that.
That's crazy. So you're trying to run that way, you're getting shot. Trying to run that way, you're getting shot.
Yeah, and I don't know if it was like a terrorist attack or if they thought there's drugs or whatever. But he made it. And then Lebanon, we went to Lebanon from Turkey. Lived there for a year. It was the same contrast, but the opposite way. We lived in a small village called Talabaya, I think it's
Yeah.
called.
Okay. Yeah.
The reason why it was different experience is it's not safe. And I know you're from Lebanon, so hopefully you don't get offended. But we were
I
also
haven't been back since 2001.
fair enough. We
I
were
really don't
not
know
treated
much.
well at all. It was not safe at all for neither us, like kids, or my parents. Every time I would go outside, I'd get bullied by kids around the street, which is normal. Like teens bully other teens.
It's not normal. You know why it's not normal? Because I've been saying this for years. You know what? My mom never used to tell us the story about the Civil War. I know I'm sorry to cut you off. I don't want you to ever say it's normal because honestly, man, I've been pushing a different narrative this entire time. First of all, one ummah, one nation.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay? Let's not get that fucking twisted, please. Second of all, my mom, when she grew up in a place called Ain al-Rammani in Beirut. So when the Civil War started in the 70s, my mom literally saw the bus full of the PLO people blowing up. She saw the little girl hanging on the balcony. She saw the Palestinians get slaughtered. So she was in the heat of literally right where it started. She was there. She saw the whole thing. She's a little kid.
Yeah.
Growing up, I really did not know much stories about, say, about the Civil War or anything like that. Okay? I didn't even know the difference between Sunni or Shia, by the way. Just to give you that much of a contrast, I never even knew that. I didn't even know it was a thing, by the way, growing up.
Okay.
We just had, and funny enough, my mom's best friend till this day, which is like my second mom, is she's Shia. I love her to death, bro. If you ask me to trade all my wealth for her, I'll tell you this. That's how much I love that lady. So I never knew the difference. Until my visit in Lebanon, I did not understand why it was, because I'm from this village, I'm from a place called Majed al-Balhis. I don't really know much about it. And then when we were doing trips, there was tensions in other spots because technically where I'm from is predominantly a Sunni village. And remember, I show everybody love and respect.
Yeah.
If you're from me, I love you. And the end of the day, especially if you're from my country, and especially if you're from my religion.
Yeah.
And the end of the day, I'll show you love no matter what. You're my brother, whether you like it or not.
That's love, yeah.
Okay? I don't give a fuck what you are. So the fact that we never knew about the Civil War. My mom didn't want to preach the hatred. I'm bringing it back to your point where you're like, it was normal to get bullied. No, it's not. I don't believe the fucking kid should be paying for the sins of the father. I understand during the Civil War, Syria came to the aid of the Christians I don't give a fuck about this politics, bro. Why should you suffer the fate of what happened in the 70s? You're born in what, 2000? 2003? So why the fuck are you paying for a sin that happened almost 30 years ago?
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I'm saying, right? So in the end of the day, the reason why we are like this as people is because we allow this to happen. You know what I mean? When in reality, if we took care of each other, there would be nobody stronger in the world than who we are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the new generation now. And I fully agree with this. But the reason why I say it's normal, I don't say because it was because we were Syrians and we were treated like that.
No, I get what you meant by it because
we're teens, right? Teens, they always have insecurities and they always try to bully each other.
That's what you meant this whole time?
Yeah.
I just went on a fucking tangent.
But I agree with you there. Like I don't like, it's my assumption though. They just wanted to assert dominance, and there the scale compared to here, it's physical, here mostly mental.
Don't get me wrong. I hear, bro, Lebanese people hate Syrians.
I agree.
Not all of them. They took over our country, bro. I've heard the whole fucking shebang.
And same with Turkey now.
But 2006 war, by the way, Syria opened its borders to us, and we ran to there. They provided. Anyways, I'm not even going to get into this fucking politics. I'm saying one ummah, one nation. I'll keep saying to the day that.
Or brothers at the end of the day. That's right. The separation that happened was man-made. We're all the same. We're all humans. Like if you're from here, if you're a Christian, Jewish, no religion, I don't care. We're
bro,
all
it's the
humans.
devil's work, man. Divide and conquer, bro. I live in a predominantly Jewish neighborhood.
Yeah.
Today, right now. Not anymore, actually. I'm married. I live in a different place. I live in Manitic.
Okay.
But my parents do. I swear to God, growing up, I didn't feel it.
Yeah, I mean,
there's a synagogue right there, bro, where we were right beside. My mom is we're the only Lebanese people that live there. My mom wears a hijab. My mom is like 4'9", but wallah, she'll knock you the fuck out, bro. She has like a punch like Mike Tyson, bro. You don't want to play games.
People are different.
We call her General Waffles for a reason. But I'm telling you, every time they used to see my mom, hello, professor, how are you? My mom speaks perfect English, right?
Okay.
So they showed us all the love in the world, and we were amazing fucking neighbors. Even till this day, I love them, I cherish them, I see them all the time. You know what I mean? So you're right. Yeah. We've made this separation through hatred. But anyways, continue on your story. I'm going to stop talking now. Thank you very much.
No, you're good. I like the back and forth as well.
All right, baby.
But
I want to hear the rest of the story when you went to...
In Lebanon, we went to school. It was okay. Like, my parents were not safe because of...
No, continue on the bullying aspect.
It wasn't... I never got beat up. Just to be specific. It was always like every time I go down to go to the grocery store, they try to act like they're going to beat me up. So I just going back up. And it was all like kids. I never got beat up there. That's all the bullying that happened. In school, it was all Syrian. Like, we went to a Syrian school. And my parents weren't safe, not from the Lebanese people. It was leeches from Syria that were trying to kind of leech on the guys who escaped.
Interesting.
I think, because my parents never speak too much, which I understand why. But my assumption there, and I've heard like some small talks, I think it is
Why do you think they never talked about it? Your parents?
security reasons, and also it's not easy to talk about. Like even me talking about things that I've not gone through, like my uncle death. It was just pictures I've seen. It's not easy to talk about.
Of course not. But even your parents, like today, they've never talked about why
No,
the leeches story.
no. They would never talk about it publicly.
Not even to you guys in private.
Sometimes they speak, but not in details. They never go in details.
You think it's because of the PTSD? They just don't want to call it.
Yeah.
They don't want to keep.
My
you living,
dad
you know?
cries when he talks about some things, and my dad is like a man that's gone through a lot of things. Right, so when you see someone like a man crying, you know it's
It hurts,
hard.
yeah. Especially if it's your dad too.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, from Lebanon we left after a year for economy reasons. We went to back to Turkey, but we lived.
Why? What do you mean? Lebanon is doing amazing.
Yeah, it was actually.
Yeah.
My dad, before he left, he actually got arrested in Beirut because we didn't have the right papers, so he got arrested for 10 days. Then he let him out. We went to Turkey, back to Turkey in Istanbul. There, people actually hated us. Like not Syrian people from Istanbul. Majority of them hated us in schools. You
The
can't.
Turks, you mean?
Sorry,
Like Turkish people or the Syrians that were living there?
Turkish people. We couldn't get a diploma. We would not be able to do tests in schools. Like they would beat you up in school for not wearing a uniform.
That's crazy.
Kids there, I got beat up like multiple times over there by kids, obviously.
Just because you're Syrian?
Well, that's their excuse, but again, it's like just teens trying to be.
And by the way, this is a NATO country, eh, Shawnee boy?
Yeah,
Hilarious, huh?
and then from there, we actually got sponsored to Canada.
By who?
A few guys from Canada.
Oh, you didn't even know them.
No, our case got randomly selected. They interviewed us. A year later, we made it.
It's amazing, man. You
Yeah,
still see
I'm
these
telling you,
people?
like life is crazy. Life is nuts. We made it, and there was like 6 sponsors. We come to Canada, and even us getting out of the country was not an easy process. Like they had to approve multiple papers, which usually they decline for no reason. The Turkish government, but it was a 30 hours travel. Majority of it was just like staying in the airport, and then we got here in 2016, September 16th. I think.
Have you ever met them, by the way?
Yeah.
The sponsors?
Yeah, we met them multiple times. They're in Ottawa. You might know. There's one of them has a clinic in Centrum Canada, Yemen, or Yemen. Don't really know the name. One of them is used to work at the mosque, Ottawa Muslim Association, and his wife had the Al Qura school. You know the Muslim school. Yeah, but they're in Ottawa. We met them multiple times. Yeah.
Are you guys still talking to them to this day?
Not so
like
much.
here and there, you know, hello,
Yeah,
thank you very much. Yeah,
Not so much, but I'm still grateful to this day for them. Like if I ever see them, I would show my gratitude, because the contrast from Syria to Turkey was insane. The contrast from Turkey to Canada at the time didn't seem much. It's a different country, but looking back, it's insane how much opportunity it provides for anyone.
Coming here?
Yeah, like just a completely different life. Like from the get-go, you're a resident of the country.
Yeah.
Now I'm a citizen. From the get-go, you go to
Mabruk.
schools, you learn about their ecosystem, and everyone here is super nice, regardless of who you are. I never really asked what my neighbors are. Like if they're Jewish, English, Lebanese, I don't care. Like they're all at the end of the day.
Canada's a fantastic country. I'm not even. I'm born and raised here, man. I love the
Yeah, I
place.
would never leave Canada.
No, I wouldn't go that far. You know what I mean? I'm out of here.
No, like not live outside Canada. If anytime soon, because it's very safe. I've been to other places, in the U.S. specifically. It's insanely dangerous. At least I felt that way.
How can you went through a war? At that point, it should have been a walk in the park.
Bro, I was 13.
I would have been like,
now
you
I'm
saw
more careful.
bombs. You know what I mean?
No,
You saw the whole shebang, persecution. You saw fucking ISIS.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Then you see a couple fucking New York street gangs. You'd be like, who are you, bro? You know what I mean? I saw heads on fences.
No, I feel like that's too much ego if I do that. No, I just like to be more careful nowadays.
No, I'm just joking. Yeah, please, people, don't take that tired, man. If you do that, you're gonna have a problem.
I walked in San Francisco at night one time. It was crazy how fast I was walking because how scared I was.
That's crazy.
And like nothing happened. I don't think anything would have happened either. But it's just like lots of homeless people around. And when you walk past homeless people, like groups of them looking at you, it's awkward or scary. For me, it was scary. But That was beside the story. So in Canada, we went to school. It was pretty good. Met lots of friends.
By the way, sorry to cut you off. Sometimes it's actually fun to talk to these homeless guys. Sometimes.
You talk to them?
Sometimes, man. Sometimes they tell you some fucking wild stories, man. Listen, I don't discriminate on nobody, bro.
I personally, in groups, I never engage with the groups. Lone guys like shoppers or next to Walmart, I always give them money. My parents.
Never give money.
I never give money either. Gift cards. That's what I meant. Because I know gift cards that buy something good with it, like food.
See, with a lot of the times, the thing they say is they're hungry. So I say, I'll buy you the best meal you'll ever eat, man. Let's just go to.
They always say no to that, actually.
That's interesting enough. Yeah.
Why? Like, who would say? I would always say yes for an extra meal.
It's crazy how you said that because majority of the time, I remember I had this guy's. It was you know what? It was a sad story, man. The guy, I'm not even going to say anything. I'm not going to talk much about him, but he was from here, from the West End, from a hood in the West End. Not even going to say the name of the hood, but he was from a hood from the West. You know what a hood is, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So anyways, he was a very good kid growing up, you know? Anyways, the only bad habit he had was smoking weed. Guys like us in the hood, we're very rambunctious. We're very wild cards, I guess, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways, I guess the guys he was hanging out with, by the way, were dealers. They're well-known dealers. They've been in and out of jail many times. Anyways, I guess they were... So a thing is if you... by the way, I never smoked weed, funny enough. I never got into that shit. So what they do is if they have they're smoking a joint, and they're passing it to the crowd, for them to roll your own joint is very out of the norm.
Okay.
Question things in life, by the way. That's my thing for people. If things seem abnormal, question it. Wonder why. Observe your surroundings. Because this guy's story, they used to make his own joint. They used to roll his own spliff. They'd give it to the guy. And then he'd smoke. And then they'd sell him weed. Don't get me wrong. They'd sell him weed. Every time he hangs out with them, they have his own joint. Anyways, these guys, they go to jail. They come back out. So this guy's been buying weed off other people, but it's not been the same.
Yeah.
They come out, he wants to visit them, but obviously at the same time, he wants their weed. He's like, man, I've been buying off other people when you guys went away, but it's not the same. He's like, you know why? He's like, why? He pulls out a crack rock. He's been literally mixing crack with his weed, so they turned him into a crackhead. Straight A student, he always kept his head down. Wallah, he was the nicest guy in the world. That's that same guy that was hanging out in front of the McDonald's on Richmond. Excuse me, sir. He was like, yo, I'm hungry. Please, brother. I'm like, listen, man. And Wallah, I actually didn't even have cash on me.
Yeah.
I only have my debit card. I said, Wallah, listen, if you're hungry, by all means, walk in with me right now. I'll buy you whatever the fuck you want. And at that time, I had no money, but I'm like, I'd rather him eat before I eat because, alhamdulillah, I'll go home. My mom already made food.
Yeah.
So no problem. So anyways, no, please, it's okay. I don't want to bother you. I'm like, bro, listen, I don't have fucking cash. Let's just go inside. I want to feed you. Bro, the guy snaps. Just give me the fucking money. I just want the money, man. I don't give a fuck for the food. The worst part was, I recognized him. He didn't recognize me. Because they turned this guy into a crackhead. Wallah, the nicest guy.
Yeah, I never got
So I always give out food instead of the money. If you're asking for food, I'm going to feed you.
That's fair enough. For me, they always say no to food. I don't know why. I don't know if it's like ego or whatever it is. I always give gift cards though. I never give cash because I know they likely will use it on drugs. Gift cards, I know for a fact they can't. I mean, they can sell it, but I did my job. I gave them gift cards. They use it in a McDonald's restaurant. They eat. They at least that's good for them.
Good on you.
But Canada, like if you're homeless, you're in Canada, man. Like I see a lot of like young people, like young meaning 25 to 30, on the street. I guess now I understand why, but at the same time, like you have control over how you react to what happened. If you're not taking actions, it's gonna be on you, and you can do it. Like in Canada, you can do anything you want. You don't look at different people in Canada. Look at different people outside Canada. They're doing a lot better than what people do here. Like disciplined. There's like in China, not even Syria, right? In China, they work 16 hours a day.
Yeah.
And what do they earn? Not much.
Nothing.
Here, you're standing outside. I can guarantee you, those same guys can get a full-time job at McDonald's, Walmart, make a living, start a small business, and make more money.
What do you mean in China, that Foxconn building, the guys that originally were making the iPhones, they had to create safety nets around the building because people were trying to commit suicide because the working conditions were so long and so harsh.
Yeah, I mean,
So people would try to jump out. That's how crazy that is. And then they would get caught in these nets and be like, I'd rather fucking die than stay there. So I agree with you. Yeah.
War is crazy.
Yeah.
But I still like, I know people go through different things, and I try to help, especially when I see like a woman standing and having a sign. I know some of them will lie, like a woman standing saying, I have 7 kids, no food, blah, 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 I go to school, nothing.
You know what? A lot of people, I've been saying this, I say this 1,000 times. A lot of people lack faith. It's not up to you. It's not for you to find the truth. Don't make judgment because you might be wrong.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In the end of the day, that person might need aid. And like I said, I always end up giving out food anyways.
Yeah. But I'm also not stupid enough to not realize that some of them are going to be.
No, 100%. Absolutely. That's why I say food is perfect. You're hungry, no problem. I'll feed you.
100%. Yeah, back to topic though. Yeah, Canada was insane.
So you touched down here, right? So obviously all this crazy contrast. Istanbul, you said they hated you guys.
Yeah, like
by the way, they made it a law. Syrians are not allowed to own properties.
Well, it's not. It's even worse. I mean, they were burning their properties.
Yeah,
so
but now even they made it a law. So now I heard all this stuff about. It's crazy how much they hate Syrians or whatever. God unite the people. But you come here, when you touch down, what was it like?
We were super tired. We landed in Ottawa, and all the sponsors were there. Cameras around. They had like a photography team. It was different. Like it was like a different.
How was that when you saw those photography people?
It was cool. We're like the first time we see such cameras, right? Yeah. It was very funny as well. Both of me and my brother, we were wearing this exact same outfit as well. So
the best.
Like us seeing the video after was very, very nice to see. My dad doesn't show me that video anymore. I don't know why. I've asked him like 6 times.
Come on, Baba. You gotta pull out that video.
If you're watching this, I know you are.
If you do, send us the video. We'll put up a clip of this video.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. We
were show the outfits.
We haven't slept for like 30 days straight. Oh, sorry, not 30 hours straight. And so we were like exhausted, and we had to drive from here, like the airport is here, to Canada. So it was like a 30-minute drive. But when we landed, we went to Tim Hortons. Now I never go back there, but we went there, got some, I don't know what we got. I think donuts, orange juice. And then when we went home, there was like a cabinet with like lots of junk food. It was amazing.
Oh, it was loaded, eh?
Yeah, it was loaded.
Amazing.
Cereal. I mean, like we never seen those things before.
Yeah.
So as kids, you're like, wow, this is crazy. But we stayed there for like, I would say 4 years, maybe.
In Canada?
Canada,
yeah.
In a condo. Then the owner wanted to sell his house. And again, I say life's crazy. So he sold his house. I was in Earl of March, where Haroon is. There I was like with a group of friends where it's not bad. I still have them as friends. Shout out to you guys, amazing people. But my focus was not on business at all. It was all soccer. Play soccer like 24/7.
That's amazing.
Which is good. Like I was in good health, good shape as well. Now I'm not.
I was gonna say what happened now, eh?
Yeah,
life hit, food, laziness.
Uber Eats, bro. But yeah, no, soccer. Then the owner decided to sell. So a friend of my dad decided to offer us a house in Barhaven here. For less rent because they know each other and they know the position my dad is in. And so I moved to Barhaven, which means I had to switch schools. Barhaven, the school I went to, John McRae. Nothing against the people there. They weren't my type though. Maybe it was an ego at the time, the ego thing.
Why are you shaking that? Are you from John McRae, bro?
Nah, man. I know people from John McRae.
Yeah, like they were all different than my. Like I was very in soccer. No one played soccer there, right? So that was one thing. So
was it more hockey or something?
No, it was all like basketball, all like fashion. They were all like with each other all the time.
Yeah.
And when you're in grade 11 and move to a different school, it's hard to get into a friend group. I still had like some people I spoke with, but it's not easy or as easy to get into a friend group. And it's always like awkward. At the time I had social anxiety. I don't call it social anxiety. I just was very quiet.
Do you feel like social anxiety or whatever you want to call it was stemmed from trauma from back in the days or just who you were?
I think it's just like the school conditions, like in Canada, like me not being able to speak good English. I always felt insecure about it.
Did you know how to speak English when you were in Syria, Turkey, or Lebanon?
No. I mean, like
friggins, you speak really good English now, man.
I spoke English pretty much every single day I came here. With
like
all
your
my friends.
accent's not even bad.
Yeah, I've been told that, but like I stutter sometimes.
It's okay.
It's the Red Bull.
Hey, you're on some wings. You're flying away from this conversation.
Yeah.
So you had a hard time finding some friend, like intertwining with friends.
Yeah, I decided to just like work. I started game development then. That's when I like in the library. I used to skip fitness class as well. That's when the journey becoming
That's
fat.
Fucking terrible, man. You skip fitness to Work on game development.
Yeah, I mean,
fitness is like recess. That was the best part about it. It was like lunchtime, you know.
When you have no friends there, it's like boring.
I guess so.
Like even now, like when I go to the gym, it's like without friends, you work out. Like, let me get this over with, kind of thing.
What do you think you could have did different to make that situation better for yourself, though?
I think it was the best, like by far the best. That's why I say life is crazy. Like me leaving that friend group that I'm still with right now, like we still go out together, but me shifting focus from soccer to more game dev or being lonely, that was the best decision. If it wasn't that, I would have probably been with a group that's like focusing on social media or whatever their focus was. At the
so
time.
you're doing game dev. You're like skip fitness going to go.
Yeah, I built a game in 6 months. Launched it on the App Store. Not much success. Dreadful. That was the game. It was like a 30 story mode game, 2D. Pretty much everyone in the school that was close to me knew in that school. So it was definitely very good, a confident boost. From there, though, I got into something like some sort of group that was in China. They would be buying games that are made because in China, it's hard to put your stuff on the App Store and then also access the App Store. So those companies, what they were doing is building stores like the App Store for iPhone, and then they were buying games to be put on those stores.
That's interesting. Why would they have a hard time putting that on the App Store?
China regulations.
That's crazy. It's funny because they make the phones in China, well, not in India, but that's crazy. Okay.
So I sold my games. It wasn't that much, but I sold them in crypto, and that's how I got into crypto. In Canada, using crypto at the time was difficult, especially cashing it out. Right. So I held forcefully for like a few years till
Bitcoin?
Well, I had lots of crypto, Bitcoin, XRP, Ethereum. I had a few things as well, and so that did really well. And in the duration, I was like still working as a freelancer. Like during grade 11, 12, I was working as a freelancer for pretty much free. Like I was working for a studio here in Vancouver called LBC. They built like a weed game, so you plant marijuana. They did like 40 M's in revenue. That was crazy.
Wow. You were part of the development team?
They did like a side studio where we built a different game, like an investing game. So I built that entire game in like 1 year and a half. We built like an entire game of 2 versions, and we launched it. There, I learned so much.
What takes so long to develop a game? What's the process like?
It's a long process.
I always wondered because you're like, okay, Grand Theft Auto 6, we've been waiting fucking 10 years.
That's like a different scale. I'm talking about like an indie level mobile game, right?
Okay, even let's talk about indie mobiles.
We just you plan the entire game out. Then you basically you hire like an artist and a developer. This is like indie level. The artist would work on the art, the developer would work on the development. I was a developer, we had an artist. And we just like put everything together. We then go through multiple cycles of testing and then polish. So after testing, polish, do a UA test, user acquisition testing. And that's the step where pretty much all games die. It's a phase where you launch an ad campaign on Facebook or whatever to test how good the game is. Do people play? Do people spend money on it? And
like these are like closed betas, open betas, alphas, beta.
It's open beta.
Okay.
So we launch it and then you test the KPIs. We've done it twice. First time it did not so good. Second time it did somewhat good. The idea there was to reach a certain threshold of KPIs or key metrics. And then if it does, we would go with the publisher that launched the Empire game, the weed game that did 40 M's. And they would and that's why I worked for free. Like I was getting shares. I would get like 400K if it did well. And that's why I worked for a long time for free. At the time, I knew I wouldn't get it. I knew the game wouldn't make it, right? Sorry to the partner I was working with.
Oh my God.
But it was amazing learning experience. You learn so much.
So you guys got paid nothing in the end?
More specifically, I got paid like $1,000.
Nice.
Which I gave to my dad.
Might as well at this point.
Yeah. Yeah.
A year and a half worth of your life, but you got something more valuable than $1,000, I guess.
Yeah, and I was like 17.
That's amazing.
17. It was even against the terms of service to go on that website I went to for freelancing.
That's crazy.
I had to like fake my ID on Photoshop.
Don't say that now. You're gonna get into trouble.
At this point, I just it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay.
But I got that, and from there things picked up quickly because that time is, I don't know if you remember or if you were in it, the bull market picked up for crypto, and I was already like somewhat in crypto, never like development. So I got a gig from someone for like an insanely amount of money because they were. In crypto, you launch anything, you make lots of money, right? So I got it.
Was this for a game?
Yeah, for a game. So they want me to build a blackjack game. I was young. I didn't know blackjack was haram or whatever. So I built a blackjack game.
I love the first thing you said. I didn't know it was haram.
Yeah, my dad actually commented on this, but I was making lots of money, so I didn't care. But at the time, at least. So I make the blackjack game in 2 weeks. So contrast from like 1.2 years to, or 1.5 to 2 weeks. That was like the moment where I was like working extremely hard. 5 Red Bulls a day, pretty much no sleep. You sleep for 2 hours, you wake up for another 24. 2 weeks, we got it out. That game raised like $500,000. I got nothing out of it from that raise, but I made a lot of money from the game in 2 weeks.
That's crazy.
So that was my first step into the blockchain money making method, I guess. It was a good project, but then went out of money, so they rugged. Term used in the blockchain ecosystem when a broad
just
project
means
dies.
they're swept under the rug. They're gone.
Well, no,
That's
what
why they say
rugged,
the
the
rug?
term, what the normies call it is because when you pull a rug, means
Okay.
everyone gets fucked over. Like,
Everybody gets fucked.
so they didn't pull the rug. Like they raised a lot of money. A lot of people invested. All the investors lost money, but at the same time, it was just bad management. Like in hindsight,
Right.
that was the first project I've done. Like I've worked for. From there, it was still in the bull market because it was 2 weeks. Right, the bull market lasted 1 year.
Yeah.
So my freelancing like profile picked up so many gigs, and I was making like already like 5-6x what anyone who graduates out of school would make.
That's amazing.
So I just
And you
stopped-
still had crypto anyways from that.
I
other
sold it at that time. I sold it.
But during the bull run, you mean?
Yeah, I sold it. I sold it
Amazing.
at an insane profit. I sold. I was still like investing in a few things, but none of those investments did super well. Because I had no like thesis behind my investment.
When did you get your first Bitcoin? What was the value at that time?
7,000?
Phew.
XRP.
How many Bitcoins did you have?
Oh, that's an answer. I can't. That's something.
Wow, that's
yeah.
incredible. Don't even answer. That's amazing. You
Yeah,
had
yeah.
that many?
I had many. Yeah.
That's incredible.
So that was like the first thing. But then like from crypto, you make a lot more. Like holding is one thing to make money if you have a lot. But to make money in crypto, you got to have either patience. So you hold for a long time, 5-10 years, or become a founder, build your own project. And right now the bar is so low that if you build anything on crypto, you'll make money.
Why do you think that is? Or why do you think the bar went so low? Has everybody
Bear
started
market
going?
conditions, no money. VCs are just very dry. So why? And now AI, there's a bubble, another bubble that picked up, which is AI. So why would anyone go on blockchain rather than going on AI? Right. So if you mix the two together, you can mix VC funds or like get funds from venture capitals and retail investors. There are still a lot of degens in Ethereum that would give you like $1,000, $2,000, and imagine getting like 200 of them, right? So you raise like $500,000 from VCs, you build an insane project, then you launch it, you farm taxes like insane. Taxes, by the way, for context, is when you launch a token or like a cryptocurrency, there's a percentage for every time someone makes a trade, you get a percentage of that trade, sell or buy.
How much is that?
Well, for majority of projects, on average, it's 5%. So imagine like tens of millions of dollars of volume. You make a living.
That's amazing.
You make yearly salaries like a day.
That's amazing.
So that was crypto.
Did you ever create one of these projects?
Anonymously, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Incredible, man.
Recently,
How did that work come into? Because you were just starting to get all these freelance projects after that.
so
2-week
freelance
project?
projects, like they were good. Like that was the thing that made me drop out of school. I was first year in high school. I was already making a lot of money. So
Yeah.
Carlton, if you're listening to this, guess what I did? I hired people to do my test for me.
No way.
And I don't care now because like it was online, whatever. Because I didn't have time to study, right? I was in software engineering. It was very difficult, nonsense courses. Who cares about biochemistry? Even if I wanted to stay, right? No one cares about that thing. Chemistry, I don't care about that thing. I just hired people from Fiverr like for a few $100s, and they did my test for me. They aced it.
You're just a fucking entrepreneur. Anyway, you're thinking outside the box like we do.
And it was online, so like it was pretty easy to do so.
100%.
5 months after I dropped out, my parents didn't know because they were against it. I mean, Arab people, bro.
You don't have to tell me twice.
Yeah.
I was kicked out. Never got dropped out. I got kicked out.
I mean, if I stayed, it would have been that because like it got to a point where I had to go back in person, and I knew nothing like about what they were doing in chemistry, physics. Who cares about that? I'm in software engineering.
You're already on your own path. You already found your own niche.
And that's like another advice for everyone. Like if don't drop out, obviously that's not like a good advice, but find your own unconventional path if you want to have unconventional results. And for me at the time, in hindsight, it wasn't that. I was like, I'm already doing my own thing. Why should I go through this path where pretty much like everyone in my courses in high school went went in the same path, like software engineering, computer science. So what's going to make me stand out to those employers?
100%.
You know, and
you guys are coming fresh out of school, no experience, and now you're coming out straight out the gates with experience.
What's crazy is like the average for becoming a doctor or getting accepted to becoming a doctor is lower than the average for getting accepted into computer science. So that's how many people are applying to computer science.
That's crazy, and it's funny because they say we have a shortage on doctors and nurses.
And you learn nothing. Like I know a lot of my friends went into it. I know they know how to code now, but you learn a lot more from like a 6 months gig on Upwork or Fiverr.
I believe it.
So that's why like it's outdated, it's expensive, waste of time. But you guys, everyone has their own path. There's always like a destination, lots of ways to get around it, right? But for me, like Upwork, I stopped it right after that project.
Where did you get your first gig from?
Upwork.
Upwork.
It's a very good platform. If you're doing freelancing, Upwork is the way because they verify their freelancers, like phone call when you get your first gig, and you get to interact with a freelancer. Buyers or clients post their job listings and you get to apply for them.
Nice.
So the harder you work by reviewing the job, making a video, the easier it is for you to get the job. For me, the way I got jobs was working for free, showing them that I can do the work for them, like giving them a demo app and then get the job. So all of them, the copy paste templates for applications, I was doing free work for them. And it works like every single time when you put like free effort or free work for them.
That's
like,
some good game you're putting people on right now. So Upwork.
Yeah, and like numbers are insane on that platform. Like if you speak English, just speak English, right? At the time I spoke good English like right now, but if you just speak English or know how to communicate well, you're already on a different level.
Really? Where's the majority of the buyers from?
India, Pakistan, Indonesia, like there's like outside countries. There are not a lot of people from.
Those are the contractors, but the clients themselves are what, more North American, Europe?
Yeah, North American. The people who pay the most are from North America. Yeah,
that makes sense.
That was up.
That's funny enough that you brought that up because one of the segments I was speaking about a while ago, I think this is one of my first pods. I said the thing what working at home did is it just proved to employers we don't need you here. We can outsource and get people from overseas and pay them a fraction of the wage. Well, obviously, depending on what it is, but
I somewhat disagree. Not to the idea itself. I know it is possible, but for a lot of people right now in the tech space, it's a lot better to have people in your space. Remote work, like remote leaders specifically, sucks, especially like startups.
Oh, I agree with you. I love in the office.
Yeah. So when it became remote, it became even worse. If you're a good leader, you know how to manage a good startup, a good team. You can do it cross time zones, cross languages. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, you can do it. Yep. But if you're a bad leader, even if you're in person, it's still going to be hard.
I agree.
But the difference is in person it's a lot easier because you see what you're working on. You have conversations.
It's very interactive.
Yeah.
You're building a culture in that team.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know?
And when it's on the same time zone, same language, it's a bit easier as well. I went like a bit above when I said different languages, cross time zones, but it is true. Like I see cross-functional teams where they speak different languages. They're in cross time zones. Like people go in Amsterdam and some are in the UK. My first project, I was in Canada. Someone was in Scotland. The other guy was in Japan.
Jeez.
So it was 3 people, right? Different time zones. We just managed well. It was 3 people, easy to move. Not a big team.
Did anybody have to wake up early, go to sleep late?
No sleep. When crypto, no sleep.
Fuck that. That's it. You're awake. Let's go.
And that's another point I wanted to touch on. Like people who say you got to have like 2 hours before you sleep so you can sleep well. Bro, when you're an entrepreneur, you're not sleeping.
I love it, man. You're on the grind. It's funny. You know how I used to keep myself awake?
How?
I used to just tell myself over and over again, I'm literally on the verge of passing out like this, eh? And I keep seeing real men don't get tired. Money doesn't sleep, so I don't either. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm literally like this, like that. Literally, I'm like drunk, half drunk. And I'm like, fuck, you stay awake. Let's go.
Yeah, and if you need like 2 hours to sleep, then you're not tired. You haven't worked hard enough. For me, if I'm tired, like right now, I'm really tired. Right? If I put my head on the pillow, I'm asleep. So why do you need 2 hours before, 2 hours after you wake up to get working? That's already 4 hours out of your day, and your day is like 24 hours.
Man, I hate sleep. I won't lie to you.
Yeah.
If I never needed sleep, if I was like bionic, I'd be very happy. The amount I'd be able to accomplish.
Yeah.
It'd be very nice.
But on the other side, like sleep is good. When I sleep,
I fucking hate sleeping, man. It's okay. Enjoy it while it lasts, you know? I have enough time to sleep when I'm dead. Right now, I'm trying to enjoy life.
Fair enough. For me, I actually enjoy life more when I'm like energized, like after good sleep. But I don't like the idea of dedicating time prior to sleeping and then after you wake up. Get to work, finish work, sleep. That's it.
I agree with you.
Or sleep, go have fun. That's it. Like, why those people who have like morning routines or night routines, wash your face and go to bed.
100%.
Or shower and go to bed.
100%. You know what? My big thing is this. You know, it's everyone talks about a work-life balance. What I try to do is I try to enjoy my life outside of work.
Yeah.
If I'm not working, sure, I don't know how to clock out sometimes. But let's say if there's a Sahara, I'm chilling, I'm fucking chilling.
Yeah.
You bet your ass I'm having the best fucking night. All you guys are having the best night, and that's it.
Yeah, that's the best way. So like being able to avoid all distractions from work, that's the best way.
Why am I gonna go? You know what? You know what? The thing is crazy. Is a lot of people what they do is if they go out, let's say we go out, have a good night. Why are you bringing your work with you, bro?
Yeah, 100%.
Whoa, stop. You're talking to me about your job right now? What the fuck? I don't even care. We're not working. Let's have fun. What are we trying to do? Why are we always planning on and all we know how to do is set tasks and goals. But when it comes to our time for ourselves and enjoying it with good company,
that's the way.
Enjoy it with good company.
Yeah, for me, like right now, most of my friends are in universities like outside Canada. I got 2 here, and then the rest are outside. So my off time is with my family, or sometimes, and this is something I learned recently. It was hard to learn as well, but it was self-love. I sacrificed like a lot of my health throughout 2020 to 2022 through Red Bulls. Like I was drinking 5 a day, bro. That's not
That's
good.
fucking crazy, man. I don't even know how you didn't have a heart attack.
Now I can drink one and go to bed. That's how bad it got. But I was sacrificing a lot of my health, relationships, a lot of things. It paid off, I guess, but tons of sacrifice. And recently I looked at myself in the mirror. I was like, bro, I let you down. Like it's almost like looking at someone that you're supposed to take care of, like your kid. I know you have 2 kids. Congrats.
Thank you, Javier.
It's the same way, but I was looking at myself. I was looking at myself in the mirror. Nice abs, bro. But I was looking at my eyes, so it was different. And from there, I started like going out by myself, having nice dinners, holding myself to higher standards. So like not talking with people I don't need to talk with, not chasing after things in life that I don't see value in.
Watch yourself. If your parents are watching, bro, don't bring up females here, okay?
No females. So
okay.
on that part
easy.
though, they're taking care of it. Like arranged marriage, I guess.
Very good. Sure.
I'm assuming you have the same thing.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
No, mine was an interesting story, man. How about I tell you, when I met my man, you know what?
You're married now, so your parents.
I don't know if I'm there yet to fucking say that story. That story was brutal, bro.
Really?
Yeah, man. When I met my wife, interesting enough, it was I used to be friends with her brother years ago. Okay. Anyways, we had an altercation. I didn't like his friends. So, anyways, I went down. We beat up a bunch of his friends and then tried to get involved. Told him stay out of it. Years go by. Years, like 6 years. By the way, I'm 32. My wife is 28.
Okay.
So when this happened, I'm thinking 2010, 11. So she would have been, what, 15? Who the fuck would she have been, bro? I never would have looked at her anyways. I would have been 19, 20 or 18, 19. So years go by. I meet my wife, okay? At the time being, you know, I met her. Beautiful girl. You know, let's have a conversation. Start chatting, whatever. And then we start, you know, getting to know each other. 2 weeks later, she comes up to me and she's bawling her eyes out. And I'm thinking, bro, why the fuck? I just met you. Is this new drama coming up? What the fuck are you crying for, you know? So obviously, okay, let me see what's going on. I said, why are you crying? What's going on? She's like, oh, my parents don't want me to talk to you. I said, your parents? How the fuck did they even know me? You know what she tells me? She's like, oh, my brother's so-and-so.
Oh.
I said, wow, what a small fucking world. So then that became a thing because I'm this violent, tough guy, whatever. I can't say much of my history here, but... And then obviously I was known. You know what I mean? So I'm like, okay, whatever, you know. We'll talk to them, schmooze it out, you know what I mean? Let me introduce myself. I'm not this guy from 2010, 2011. This is fucking 7, 8 years later now, you know what I mean? And then I met the parents. Dad is fantastic.
It's awesome.
Her fucking dad, I'm telling you right now, he's one of the most down-to-earth guys there is.
Hard to find.
And the guy even knew what I was. That was the crazy part. Knew about my past, the entirety of it.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Bro, I was pretty famous at some point, man, to be very honest. Like, or infamous, I should say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was it's very fucking awkward having a conversation like that with another Arab man. Because I had the intentions
100%,
of marrying the daughter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because that's my thing for guys.
Yeah.
If you're gonna try to be with a woman, don't be with her for the sake of. If you're only be with her if you're looking for marriage, don't try to test the fucking waters.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? If you're gonna get married, have the intention of being, have the intention of getting married, and then you get to know that person.
Yep.
You don't need to fucking be 10 years with that person and be like, oh, well, let me see if it works out or not.
100%. Even like my English friends who are from Canada have the same mindset now, which is like shows how good our group, my circle is right now. I feel the same way, and that's why I wanted to like leave it to my parents. Right now, finding a girl for me at least is impossible. First of all, no time like to go outside. I don't go out much. When I go out by myself, I go to a restaurant, eat, go back home. But
what does your day look like, by the way?
Let's
get some contrast. Give me your day. You woke up what time?
Today I woke up.
Fuck today. Let's go last week. Give me your busiest day.
So I wake up pretty much every day at 9. When I sleep is different. 9 a.m.
You wake up at 9?
Yeah.
Fuck, I haven't had a 9 a.m. wake up in years.
When do you wake up?
Fuck that, bro. With the chickens.
You wake up at 5?
I hate it.
So I'm not a
My
morning
son's
person.
a true Muslim, bro. That guy wakes me up at fucking Fajr, bro. He's only 2.5. 5:40, I hear him going crazy in his crib, and I'm like, oh my God.
Fair enough then.
Let's get up fine, man. You know what I mean? So it's around 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
That's not bad.
So at 9 o'clock, you wake up.
8:59 to be specific. That's when my alarm is. I wake up then. I sleep at like 4 or 5.
In the morning?
Yeah, 4, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, in the morning.
And you don't have time? Okay, this is very interesting. Okay.
So I have a full-time job now at a company in Montreal. I'm one of the guys who started from the start with them.
Okay.
So we're building like some blockchain infrastructure stuff for game developers. So 9, that's when I wake up. Good morning in the group chat. Yo guys, what's up? And then from there till 5, that's like my full-time job. Right?
Okay, so 9 to 5.
9 to 5. It's a very good job. It's I do a lot of really cool things that you don't get to do in a normal enterprise. Right?
Ubisoft?
No, I work with Ludex.
Cool.
So I work with them. After 5, take a break. Maybe like get a quick nap, 20 minutes. 20-minute naps are insane. The best. Like you relax your eyes.
You get that power nap going.
Yeah. Your eyes, like they need that. Especially if you're staring at a screen for 8 hours straight.
I agree.
And I usually have like the heated eye mask.
Nice.
So
do you feel like that works, by the way?
that does work. Because your all glands get dry. And it makes me like almost fresh again. Right? I wake up, I'm fresh. Right? It's the same new day for me. After that, I work on side projects. Right now, I'm working on 3.
Nice.
You should, if you're not in crypto, you should always focus on one. Go all in one. In crypto, though, a day is like a year. So if you're not hardworking, you won't make it. You gotta be like on the clock, working 24/7.
So what do you do in terms of work for crypto?
So right now, I'm running a project. I'm somewhat doxed there. Like I have my face on it, so I'll talk about it a little bit more. It's a project where we basically handle. It's like Fiverr. We built like an escrow platform.
Interesting.
Through Telegram, we basically match buyers with service providers instantly, and we give you the best prices. On Fiverr, if you look at Fiverr, for example, there's lots of prices, different prices from like $5 to $20,000.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and it's insane. As a new project founder, it's confusing. Like, what should I pay?
Yeah, exactly. If you see these prices, give some advice. If you were to see some prices like that, and you see the contrast between $5 and $10,000, you're like, who the fuck do I hire at this point?
Exactly.
Is $5 go a long way, or is 10,000 go a long way?
And oftentimes it's like the same service that you get. The difference is the experience of the person. For us, what we did was using AI, so natural language. You just say, this is my budget. This is what I'm gonna get. We match you with a person. That's one of the things we built, and it's all through like for crypto-oriented projects. So projects who just raise some money and want to build a product. And in crypto, you see this like every day.
Is this fully functional right now, or is it still in prototype?
It's fully functional. We launched.
It's been launched?
Yeah, it's been about a crazy month actually.
Wow.
That's when we launched it, and then we added like multiple features. So in crypto, actually, there's this thing called OTC. Not just in crypto, there's also in the stock market where you OTC big shares or big holdings.
Explain what OTC is because people want
over the counter. So you basically say, for example, I'm trading Bitcoin and I have 1,000 Bitcoins. If I want to go through an exchange, it's risky. 1, I lose fees. 2, they might just rug, just like scam me.
Exactly. You said pull out the rug.
unless it's a trusted exchange, which most people do. 1,000 Bitcoin for exchanges is not that much, but you get the point. Like lots of coins or coins that are not on exchanges.
No.
OTC is basically me going with a middleman saying, hey, I want to sell those coins for $10,000.
Yeah.
They match me with someone, we do the exchange, and then that's it.
They take their
no fees. They get a cut usually, and there's no slippage. In crypto, there's DEXs, decentralized exchanges, where there's taxes, fees, and gas prices. So 3 fees that you're paying.
I think the gas prices, some of them are nuts. Like Ethereum at some point got really bad.
I mean, like people always complain, but those are noobs. Like $80, yeah, sure, but you're making like $10,000 on a trade. Like $80 compared to $10,000, and you do win 2x.
Did you play with NFTs, by the way?
Uh,
I found that was very.
I did that. Well, that's when I first.
It's
saw
like it was a very good pump, but it died quick.
It's a bubble. Everything is a bubble in the world, right? Some of them will last longer, and some of them will not last at all. Like NFTs. NFTs are pretty much dead now.
Yeah.
But that was my first like step into crypto was through NFTs, and it raised like $500,000.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like at the time, you do anything. I'm selling couches as NFTs. You sell it out.
That's crazy.
And you say, we're doing revenue share, guys. 1% of the sales, we give them back to community. Everyone buys.
Yeah.
It's all speculations, narratives, and just BS. Things pumped like crazy as well. Like people were making money as well. But for this project, OTC is like a service that we offer. So there's no middleman. It's all like trust. It's all trustless in the sense that it's all through a smart contract. That's the idea of blockchain, decentralized.
Right.
You send funds there, I send funds there, the exchange happens, and we just get our cut. There's no gas, there's no slippage, and there's no taxes. So you avoid 3 sorts of fees, and you get your funds worth.
Perfect. You just take your cut, go home.
Yeah, and we're also doing an exchange. And both of those are powered by AI. When I say AI, it's not a buzzword, guys. It's just you're able to use plain English. For example, if you never knew what exchanging is, you would just say, I want to swap my Bitcoin to Ethereum, and that's it.
And then it does the rest.
Yeah, so it's like through intents. Obviously, we'll chat with you because it needs to know how much, where to send it to. But that's it. Like it's just using ChatGPT for.
Where did you come up with this idea?
We have some good backing. We have some big brains behind this project. And so
were you the one that came up with this idea, or you're just part of the project?
I'm one of the first guys that started.
That's interesting.
The project, yeah.
Good for you.
And so this project did really well. Now we're launching 2 more.
Those ones you can't talk about just yet.
I don't want to speak about them, but they're exciting. So both of them are hedge funds. Hedge funds are basically where you basically collect money from investors.
That's right.
And invest it in something, and then return back to people. Because of our circle now, like when you get to a certain level in crypto, where you're just often given private sales where you invest like a small amount, and then you get the earliest price ever. When you're in that position, you have lots of connections, so you can raise lots of funds very quickly overnight because that those people will make money, and they know too.
Of course, so they know you produce.
Yeah, they know like that for this project, the investors that we've had so far, they're at 70x. So
that's incredible numbers. That's
70x
insane.
in 1 month is insane.
That's
and
amazing.
They're like over the moon. One guy, it was funny because I was in Amsterdam like a week or so ago. I was in Uber. I got him in early. Like he got in at a small valuation, and I was like a 4x. On the second day he invested, it did like a 2x. He was over the moon. Uber drivers are not that rich, right?
100%.
So him getting a 2x on like a big investment, he was over the moon. He was texting me like throughout my trip. It's like, yeah, let me give you free rides if you need anything. So like it's a matter of who do you choose for, like who provides you the most value, not just money wise. So a lot of those people are actually influencers. In crypto, there's this idea of KOLs, key opinion leaders, where you are on Twitter, you say, hey, go buy this token, and you bring this volume. And so for those 2 hedge funds, the reason why I think they're going to do well is because we're going to be selective of who we take money from.
That's right.
And we're only going to take it from marketers. That way, they shill or market this coin, and it does well.
Do you have any influencers that are part of the team or people that you currently work with that you're pushing it out to?
We don't work with, like, influencers never become part of your team. What you do is you make connections with them. You offer them deals or access to private sales. So you give them access to such investments because they invest like $2,000 each, 2,070x. That's like a yearly salary.
That's incredible.
And if you do like if they get into multiple projects, it's pretty good. So crypto is insanely profitable nowadays. And back in 2021, which I missed obviously because I was working as a freelancer, it was even crazier. Like raising 140K now is like raising 1.4 million then.
That's insane.
But yeah.
So obviously they were able to raise more money back then than today.
Yeah.
Is it because you find a lot of people are scared of crypto because they're like it's a bear market?
A lot less people. The people who stuck,
which is better for a lot of you guys, to be honest.
Yeah, a lot less people. Back then, it was a lot of the venture capitals also were getting involved, which is a lot of money. But also a lot of normies, lots of them. Normies who don't know anything. And I hate to say this, but normies are the ones that get wrecked because you got to differentiate holding, like holding a good project and a bad project. A lot of those coins that do like 100x in a month, like this one, won't last 25 years, right? So you holding
so it's
for
a pump and dump.
Not a pump and dump. There's a difference. Pump and dumps are very clear. They pump and then dump. Very clear. This one though, like the one I'm working on, do you think it will last 25 years? Yes or no? No? Then why would you stake it for 25 years?
That's true. Why are you doing a diamond hold?
Staking is basically locking your coins for 25 years.
Yeah.
So the normies do it because they earn APY. It's like having your money in a savings account. So you earn like in bank accounts, you earn like 1%. Staking, you earn like crazy percentage. You earn like 25 or 50%.
No.
To normies, it's like, oh, I'm making 50% in a year. That's crazy.
And then they get rugged?
Then most of those projects rug. Now I'm speaking about mine. I don't think it will last 25 years, 50 years. Maybe it does, but I definitely don't think it will last. It won't last anything less than like 20 years. Sorry, like 10 years. It's a product that actually has users now, which is something that you rarely see in crypto nowadays. Users that are using your product.
How long does it take on a project like this for it to be worked on, from development, from incubation all the way to development and launch?
This one specifically took 3 months in development. We pivoted after a month, so 2 months to actually build a new product.
Interesting.
And then it took another month. You have to get into a mentality, not just in crypto, of making a product that makes revenue as soon as possible.
Speed. It's all about speed.
Not just speed. Like it's just get to revenue as soon as possible. You're selling couches, find a way to make money right away. Maybe flipping couches. You're selling anything pre-sale. You got to find a way to validate your idea so you know it makes money. So you're not wasting 6 months to a year for building something.
I agree with you.
In crypto, because days move fast, like everything there's something new, you're forced to be in that mentality of building, launching, farming taxes, and then doing something else.
I love how you made that smirk when you started talking about taxes.
Bro, taxes are nuts. Like,
I fucking hate taxes. You're telling me, man. I'm cutting these bastards all the time.
I'm not talking about like government taxes.
I'm talking about crypto taxes.
Crypto taxes are like trading. So taxes are like
the fees.
Again, the fees. Yeah. So 5% on like those coins get traded insane amount. There's a project called Ator. I know the founder personally. They just yesterday made like $500,000 in volume. $500,000 in taxes, and that's just like 4%.
That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, and it's a small.
It's fucking amazing cut though for them. Good for them.
Yeah, and so why would you in crypto? Why would you go approach venture capitals if you know how to make money? And there's plenty of ways of making money. You just gotta have experience. And
you like to deal with the VCs?
That's one other thing I've been doing for a while now. It's basically like an agency where I help venture capital, founders fundraise. Mostly did it for degen projects like those ones that I'm running where in crypto. But VCs, dealing with them now is painful. They're very slow. It's just like when you have a term investor associated with your name.
Yeah.
Automatically your ego is here and now it's here for no reason. Like you just have
just because they feel like they're backed by VCs.
No. If you are an investor, right? If you've ever invested in anything, most of those VCs, even if you're just like a venture capital associate, which is someone who just does research, their ego starts here. They get the position, now it's all the way up here. I'm a VC, guys. So I go to those conferences and like we speak with them. It's like, bro, relax. You just
calm down a little bit.
Yeah, and dealing with them like that is annoying. On top of that, now their market is slow in the blockchain, so they just waste time. In the sense that they don't want to invest. They know they're not going to invest. They just have follow-on meetings, asking questions.
You would have think after the crash they at least would have been more humble, eh?
They're never humble. Like those guys, I mean, some of them are not egotistical either. Some of them are just quiet, which is...
They don't care. It's all about the numbers.
No. Quiet is somewhat humble, somewhat egotistical, depends on how you look at it. For me, it's... I sometimes go quiet too. It's like a way for learning, right? You listen to the other party. But when it gets quiet, you got to engage with the conversation so the other party knows that you're listening.
That's right.
They don't do that. They just listen and move on. And some guys like don't even want to say hi to you.
Really?
And you're in a networking event. Like you're there to network. Well, I would like if I come up to you, say hi, you know, get to me, how you like in Amsterdam so far. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not asking for your money. So multiple guys would be like, yo, it's good. I have to go. And they just go.
That's crazy. Do you feel like the VCs just sit on one side of the room and then everyone else is on the other side?
Yeah.
Do they differentiate themselves? They want you to know I'm VC?
They do. They buy the VIP tickets.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They get like a bracelet that's like blue. It's a flex as well. Like having the bracelet. But
I get it.
Dealing with some of them is also good. Like some of them provide enormous value. Like especially if you're a crypto project.
Yeah.
They give you their access to their network, which is always massive.
Right.
They give you access to exchanges. They give you better deals. They give you credits from AWS, which is like Amazon. Some of them are amazing, but right now things are slow. And my biggest like ick, I guess, is VCs who are either raising and wasting your time, or because VCs raise from LPs, right? They raise from limited partners, or the ones who have no money to invest and are just wasting your time, asking endless questions, giving useless feedback, and acting like they know what they're doing.
So what about the ones that are on these two projects for the hedge funds?
We're not going through VCs. We're going through angels. So all those are through just angels. Venture capital is usually...
I'll tell the people what angels are.
Angels are just people who make money or made money and have or give you small checks. Those people are usually hardworking and they've been in your shoes. So they're either founders, doctors, lawyers, entrepreneurs, anyone who makes a lot of money, crypto people, marketers, right? Who have a lot of money and they want to invest it. So we get in touch with them, that we pitch them their idea. You like it? Cool. Let's get it. Let's sign a check and let's see what value we can bring to the table. Most of the time, the value is clear. I'm a marketer. I'm someone who's been in gaming. I've been a CTO before. I've been a CEO before. So value is clear with those angels, and you only speak with one of them. With venture capitals, they try to take over, meaning they want to buy as much supply as possible.
That's right.
Or the ones who invest, obviously. And I don't necessarily recommend that route for early stage startups because you're giving out too much supply or too much equity. When you're at later stages, you have more leverage. You have revenue, you have traction. That's what we're doing now with this company. We're going through venture capitals.
For the two hedge?
No, the escrow one.
That's wrong.
We're raising through venture capitals. We're only giving like 5% away, compared to pre-seed. We would have been giving out like 16%, and raising like a sizable amount. And now it's like, thing with venture capitals is you gotta have FOMO, right? You gotta build fear of missing out.
That's right.
So
yeah, you're creating buzz anyways. You want them to be able to, I'm going to miss out on this money.
Exactly. So now it's like we have the FOMO.
It's good marketing.
And what can you bring to our table? Can you put us in exchanges? Can you put us in touch with other angels? Can you put us in touch with your portfolio companies? That's another kind of like thing that we're looking for. Because we offer like hiring. If we go through venture capitals, we get access to their portfolio companies who they invest in.
Do they also have influencers part of that sphere?
No. Venture capitals usually don't interact with them.
No.
Especially the ones that pump coins or give you big pumps.
Why?
Those people are hard to get in touch with. Like, it's not easy to get in touch with such people. Okay. It's like reaching out to Logan Paul. How easy do you think that would be?
Well, I guess it'd be pretty tough.
Yeah. He might be in touch with some influencers. You might get him through some agents, but unless you've made Logan Paul money before, he will not trust you, especially after CryptoZoo, blah blah blah, all is done, or he will just completely ignore you.
CryptoZoo is a very interesting one. What was your take on that?
I don't think Logan didn't know that the guys he was working with are scammers. There's no shot. When you work in a team, you can always sense if someone has bad intentions easily, especially with such amount.
100%.
Like, I've worked with multiple team members on different startups where I knew this guy is there for the money. This guy is struggling with money, so he's also there and motivated by the money. And this guy will only put in work once he sees money, right? I know, and it's very easy to see. So with Logan Paul, all his team, like, he put all the blame on his development team. That's bullshit.
100%, no?
Yeah, I mean, and right now he has the funds to refund everyone. Even if we like refunded everyone who lost money exactly to the dollar, why not just do it?
100%.
Just greed.
That's it. Exactly. That's, if you really didn't know, give him back your money.
Yeah. He didn't make much out of it either. Like the coin didn't do too much volume.
It definitely harmed his name, though.
It harmed his name, but realistically speaking, how much?
I guess now with the Prime deals.
No, not just the Prime deals. So he leached on KSI, and now he entered like a new fan base, WWE, which most of them don't know about Logan Paul, but now see his performance. I'm like, yeah, this guy's cool.
Which I still don't understand. I don't think he's that good, to be very honest with you.
I never watched him, but I've heard some stories about him being like.
I think Jake is way better than his brother.
Really?
Well, especially in terms of boxing, though.
D-box Dylan. I mean, his boxing against Dylan Dennis was pretty good, I would say.
No. He's being trained by real fucking fighters, bro. He has real coaches, real everything.
Do you think he was? Do you think it was on the juice?
It's a tough one, bro.
He was definitely.
He looked like it. He looked like it.
No, that's like the body I want to have too sometime soon.
Good for him. You know what? If he found something that he truly enjoys, it's funny because when you watch Jake Paul, sure, he's a shit disturber, the whole nine.
Yeah.
But deep down, he's the kind of guy that looks like he's just, he holds it down for his team. You see his brother, it's almost like you see that jealousy and you see that envy and how, oh, my brother's overshining me. And then you look and you're like, holy fuck. Do you have siblings? Do you have brothers?
I have a young brother, yeah.
I mean, it's crazy because I'm the youngest. I have an older brother. I'm like, what the fuck if that was my brother? I love how Andrew Tate and Tristan do it.
I love that.
That's my brother. I'm proud of him.
Yeah.
I got his back. What the fuck? Why wouldn't I be happy? My brother's killing it. And then he fucking throws Jake under the bus. I'm like, that's disgusting, man.
Yeah, no, the Tristan, like the Tate. I don't like Andrew Tate, by the way. Not for what he's preaching now. He's preaching good stuff. But I think what he did was do bad stuff and then kind of combine them together. And now everyone is like overlooking what he did before. You can't do that. Like he's done bad stuff before. Now he's preaching good stuff to make money.
But why do you think you can't do that? Shouldn't everybody have entitlement to another chance in life?
Yeah, he could. Yeah. I'm just saying I'm not going to overlook that fact. He does have another chance, and a lot of people like him now. But there's always a chance for him to do the next thing when he runs out of things, right? Or when his business dies down, which has been declining.
Which one? Hustlers University?
Yeah, I think it was making like 5 M's a month or something. Now it's like 200 members, so still making sizable amounts of money, but it's a lot less, right? And I actually tried it. There's not much value in there. I tried it. I guess it works for some people, but for me, it wasn't like.
Oh, crazy. I never did the whole thing. It's funny enough, I subscribed at some point.
Yeah.
I said I was gonna try it out just so for the sake of you hear a lot of people saying good things or bad.
Yeah.
I wanted my own contrast. I never ended up having time. What did you think about it?
I think like for a lot of people, it's good.
For people that have no experience, are we talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So guys
no
like
experience that are completely lost, because the education system is terrible now. Like I've been through high school. You're always competing against another person. And that's not a good mentality to be in when you're in business, right? Always competing for that A+, and then you're only studying, the only motivation is to get that A+ or on top of your class. That's not a good mentality to be in. I guess some other people are there to be doctors, but for me, it was just me to look like the cool kid who had an A+.
Sure.
Or to impress
our times are so different. My time is they're fucking afraid to fail because they're gonna get beat up by their parents. You know what I mean?
I mean that was always there too.
I don't know about no competition. No one didn't give a fuck about that. They just wanted that A because we truly believed we're gonna go get an education, get a job.
Yeah, different times for sure.
Buy a house, mortgage, credit, whatever.
Different times. But the Andrew Tate Hustler University, it shows you options. It shows you that there are other ways.
Okay.
So that's pretty good.
So this is something very good for somebody that's brand new.
Yeah, brand new people. You gotta explore options. You gotta try things out. You gotta take risk. You gotta go down the unconventional path. And again, this is starting to be a conventional path where a lot of people are going down, and a lot of bubbles are gonna burst.
100%.
Blockchain, AI, whatever it is. But in any industry, if you stick to something for enough time, you'll make it.
100%.
So if you have like a year or two on your hands, and if you're young, there's no risk. Like you don't have a family that's gonna starve if you don't work.
That's right. So what are you waiting for? Kind of thing.
Just being lazy.
That's it.
I'm not saying everyone has their own conditions either, but that's why I like the Hustlers University. Is it worth the price? No, I think it's scamming everyone. Because like $50, that's insane for how much.
Well, maybe somebody should try it out for a month and get some juice out of it and then run away.
You know what's funny? I tried to cancel it. So every choice you choose, he has like a video of him kind of shitting on you, telling you why you shouldn't cancel.
It's actually, you know, a good marketer though.
Yeah, no,
You can definitely not
insanely
fucking
good
knock the
marketer,
hustle.
Yeah, very smart guy for sure. And I like the bond between him and his brother. That's why I
I won't lie
respect
to you.
him.
I like Andrew Tate.
You like him?
Yeah.
What do you think about his past?
I don't give a fuck about the past, bro.
Okay.
The reason why I don't care about the past is because we all have a past. You know
That's
what I
a good
mean?
point.
I'm
That's
not
a
gonna,
really
I'm not
good
gonna
point, yeah.
harp on someone's past because in the end of the day, let's be very honest. We all did fucked up shit.
Oh, 100%,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I honestly don't know much about the fucked up shit that he did. And you know what? I'm not gonna sit there and if it's a case of that lover boy shit that they were talking about, what he's being persecuted under.
Yeah.
I don't care about any of that. I honestly think it's a political assassination that they're trying to go against him. Listen, I live my life the way I live my life.
Yeah.
I'm just giving my side of the version. I'm just giving my opinion.
Fair enough.
You know, we've all done crazy shit. The fact that in the end of the day, you flip that narrative and you're actually helping people with the narrative that you're pushing, so you can make better looking men, better versions of men.
Yep.
I'm with that.
I'm with that too. The only reason why I'm against, like the only thing I'm against is I saw clips on Twitter of him beating women. So that was, I
I've
guess,
never seen that. That's crazy.
I've seen multiple clips of him. He
Beating
said,
women?
Yeah, he said it was like role play or whatever. The woman came out saying the same thing, but to me, it didn't look like it, and that's just like my perception of it, right? So that's the only reason why I don't respect him too much. Obviously, you've done it in the past. What's stopping you from doing it now? What he's doing now, though, is very good for the youth. A lot of men are lost in this world, and I feel like what he's preaching, workout, discipline, being a good man, especially now with what's happening with a lot of things here in Canada, I think it's very, very needed.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah. But
it's funny enough because when he came out and he was saying whatever he was saying, listen, I don't agree with everything he says.
Yeah.
I don't. The whole you can cheat on people, multiple partners. That might have been the persona he was portraying before maybe Islam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But remember, as a Muslim, right? The second he became a Muslim, remember, he's reborn.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm not gonna go away from
Fair
that
enough.
portion of my belief. Everybody did fucked up shit.
Yeah.
My thing, I've been preaching forever. Like, as an example, you were just saying before, we were talking about get up, going to do it. Are you really working your best? Is this really the hardest you're doing right now? That's my thing.
Yeah.
Is it really? There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
That's what you were built for? That's all you're going to achieve? You didn't feel like at some point, oh, you know what? Fuck it. Let me just slack a little bit. Come on. Tell yourself the truth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that as well.
So everyone's entitled to their own opinion, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
What would you leave people with today? We're running out of time. What would you leave people with today? With your journey, you have a very interesting story, man. Started off from nothing and rubbles and war. And look at you now, man. You know what I mean? You got your chance. You came to Canada. Look what you built.
Yeah.
What's your advice to people?
Find your luck. Look at the elevators that will move you up, the elevators that will keep you stationary, and the elevators that will move you down. You'll never know right away, especially if you're a beginner, but you got to take them first to understand, right? So take opportunities. If you're young, take risks. If you're old, stick to something. Stick to something for a year, 10 years, 5 years. You'll generate results. Whatever that thing is, I prefer if it's on the internet, that's where the money is now. I know you're in construction, whatever.
No, I have ventures everywhere, man.
Yeah. So internet is where the money is. That's where the scale is. But anything you do will make you money. Like if you work a job very hard for a year, you get promoted to top levels and you'll make more. Study for a year, you'll make more.
That's right.
Just stick with something and have self-discipline.
I love the message, honestly, that you're bringing, Mo. I'm calling you Mo now. We went from Majed to Maj to Mo.
Yeah.
Listen, man, it was such a pleasure, brother.
Yeah, likewise. Thank you so much for having me.
I know
on.
we're running out of time.
I brought you this as well. I wanted to give you the start, but
I love it, man. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. What do we got here today, guys? We're doing a gift opening.
I couldn't leave.
Okay. How was the mic level on that one? I'm going to burst ears, eh? This is a good one, too. I actually really like this one, eh?
Really?
I appreciate this one.
Oh, man.
I appreciate this one, Habibi. Guys, if you like what you saw, if you like what you see, like always, we always appreciate the love and support. Please like, share, subscribe, hit that bell button. We're going to be coming at you with beautiful content. Guys like Majed, incredible story. Look, came a long way. So, till next time, guys, we'll see you next time.